Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
I'm Vfire.
And I'm David.
Hello, David.
David.
Hello, Vfire.
What's up, guys?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Pannon. Hello, Vfire.
Happy spoopy season.
It's the spoopiest season of them all.
Are you doing anything fun for the spoopy season?
I will be playing Baldur's Gate for spoopy season. What about you, Vfire?
I am dressing up as my Mega Venusaur Witch for all of my classes that I'm teaching.
They're going to love that. What about you, Pannon? You doing anything exciting, fun, and very, very spoopy?
I might be playing some fun tabletop stuff. Have the possibility of doing some Dread, some Alice is Missing, or some 10 Candles, if you guys have played any of those.
Tell me about 10 Candles. I know we're not even at the meat of the episode, but I've never heard about 10 Candles.
Oh my gosh, it's so good, and I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, so I haven't played that one before. I know there's some tutorials online that you can check out, but you use the little tea candles, and you actually have live candles.
Okay.
And you have to have it right in front of you as you're playing the tabletop game. So you have to be really careful about not breathing too hard, or if your candle goes out, your character dies.
Whoa.
Yeah. At least that's what I understand.
That is so fascinating. That sounds really interesting. You'll have to tell me how that goes.
Yeah. Mercedes might have heard more about it than me. I don't know.
Nope, that's it. That's it. And I'm I love this. I want to play.
I've just
heard go to a party.
Yay! I've just heard stories about people who gasp, or they do something like scream, and it just blows their candle out. So you have to play it all in the dark, so the candles are the only light.
Ooh, I love that.
So it's extra spoopy.
I always enjoy the game Mysterium. I don't know if you guys played Mysterium before.
Ooh, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
It's a game where you have essentially a game master, but they are a ghost, and everybody else at the table is a medium. Ooh. And the ghost is trying to convey to the mediums a different murder. So every character has a different murder. Ooh. And they cannot communicate, but they have these weird abstract almost AI generated art.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's okay, I have to convey these things to these characters, because it's okay, so the Mr. Body was killed by the candlestick in the library with by Mr. White, and so you have to convey that to each person, because they all have a different motive and whatnot, and they all put in their guess, and from there it's just a fun little guessing game of okay, did I get it right? Did you get it right? What's going on? And whoever solves their murder first wins. It's a lot of fun.
I like that. Nice. Well, I
cool.
hope our listeners at home are doing some really fun stuff for this time of year. And if you want to tell us about it, or even just share something scary, you can. I tried too many words. You can do that a few different ways. The first one is cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or
you can go to the website cosplaystitchandseam.com. Let me do that again.
Now I got you doing it.
I got this. Or you can go to the website cosplaystitchandseam.com and fill out our contact forms there, or
go to our spooky Facebook page, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
While you're on the internet, join our fantastic community. We have a fantastic group of people who want to see you grow, learn, and challenge yourself. If you're not a big fan of Facebook, we totally get that. We have a spooky cosplay horror story channel. That you can tell us all about the things that you're working on. Or if you've got a cool board game, we've got a whole channel just dedicated to gaming. It doesn't have to be just video games. We would love to hear about your fun, silly games. And if you want to support the show, there are so many different ways to do that. The easiest and simplest and cheapest is just share the podcast with a friend. Let them know, hey, there was a really great episode on where to begin, who these people are, and why I enjoy listening to them. And if you want to support the show in more ways than one, you can. I'm all over the place. I apologize. You can leave us a review on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. Those help the algorithm gods smile their shiny light upon us. And if you have a few dollars in your pocket burning a hole, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplaystitch. For $3 a month, you get a shout out on every single episode. And for $5 a month, you get to join our
horror stories.
Oh.
Spooky, spooky, spooky.
Keep that in.
I'm leaving this in. I'm leaving this all in.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. You can join us.
Wrong lever!
So good. Oh, you for $5 a month, you can join our
Cosplay Chronicles.
That's the right sound to
Yeah,
play
there
in
we
that
go.
moment, David. Good job. So proud of you. We have a very fun, fantastic D&D game that we try and play at the beginning of every month. We've got another episode coming up, so be tuned so that way you can see how David messes with the audio again and see what happens there. That'll be an exciting time.
In the best ways.
I like instead of stay tuned, you said be tuned.
Did I? Well,
Yes.
that's the level of English we're bringing you today.
See, I had a little too much wine with dinner, so I was like, they're not gonna, like, I'm just gonna be a little bit loopy, but so far y'all are matching my energy really well, so I'm like right on.
I am
Yeah.
post gym, so I am like, woof.
I drank half a beer.
Wow, you rebel.
Should we make drinking rules to today's
I
episode
know,
then?
right? Do I need to go grab a cup?
Oh.
Every time the horror story involves hot glue, take a shot. Every time it involves electrical malfunction.
A bad
Every time
wig
it involves a wig. Yeah.
and lack of self-care. There are your rules.
Oh, I mean,
okay, we're gonna get wasted if we do the lack of self-care.
I think we've spoiled what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing a horror story special to get caught up on
Yay.
all of your fantastic horror stories that you guys have shared with us.
I mean, I could tell you were excited, David, just because you played it so early.
Shut up. Shut up, all of you.
Yay! We
Play
are
the
doing
audio again. We're doing it.
Play it
all
again.
cosplay horror all the time.
Spooky, spooky, spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off, Mercedes, with your horror stories? Spooky, spooky, spooky.
Yeah. Spooky. I have a very spooky story from Michigan.
Terrifying already.
Michigan.
Michigan. All right. This is from Emmy. So she says there's not many big cons around in Michigan. So I had traveled 2 hours to get to one of the bigger ones. The whole ride down to the con, I had to use the bathroom.
Ugh.
That's already a horror story in and of itself. Where you're like, I'm stuck in the car, but I gotta pee. So as soon as we get to the convention, I went straight to the bathroom, and out of nowhere, my nose just starts bleeding, and it would not stop.
No.
Woof.
It got so bad that we had to get the first aid people to help, and they had to shut down the bathroom.
Oh my god!
Woof.
After another 20 minutes of it not stopping, I started to black out. So they decided I should go to the ER.
Oh,
wow.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't move my legs, so they had to wheel me out of the con in an office chair while all the con goers watched me. Once we got to the ER, we had to wait in the waiting room. By the way, I'm still in full cosplay, and I can only imagine what the other people in the waiting room could have thought seeing Chi-Chi from Genshin Impact in the ER. Chi-Chi's like a doctor, she's the healer.
No.
Oh,
That's so sad.
I know. Oh, after we got to the doctor, they told me that I just had a scratch on my septum and I'd be okay. And we went back to the con for 30 minutes before it closed.
Oh,
Good, and now I have a story to tell.
oh my
That is
gosh.
one heck of a story. Oh my gosh. I used to have like really bad nosebleeds when I had my septum. Like it was deviated from several years of just being a child and breaking my nose frequently. And it is such like a like it takes you out of everything having a bloody nose. Like you're just like, well, I can't do anything. Like I just got to sit here and wait it out. It's the worst.
That. Oh. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's a good start.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You want to go next, Pannon, and pull from our
sure.
Cosplay Horror Story channel?
Absolutely. So these are going a little bit back since it's been a while since we got to bombard you guys with horror stories. This first one comes from Tim Yoke. It has some pictures there too if you want to go onto our Discord and check them out.
Join us.
But the rocket frame broke while he was moving it. He's been working on this like really cool looking rocket, and but it's designed to anchor at 4 points and not just 2. He says, I made this base to work on it at Alchemy, but it's only 2 points. I need to add the other 2 support points. It's supposed to be loaded vertically, not horizontally. It's been re-glued, has perhaps a bad glue joint, and secured with machine screws. But it does look, it's looking pretty good still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking
Like,
neat.
All of Tim's stuff has like a really good like worn quality.
Mhm.
Like it looks like lived in, and that's one of the cool things that Tim does.
Yeah, that's great weathering and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to get the next one, David?
I would be happy to. This one comes from Silver the Wolf, and it starts with a title, and already I'm captivated. It's called The Missing Wig Cap. My story takes place last year. I was going to my local Ren Fair as Natsu from Fairy Tail. I was in full cosplay, going to put on my wig. I had my wig cap on the counter. When I went to grab it, it was gone.
Uh-oh.
I had when I was doing my makeup the other day, I put down the cap to my foundation, and it was gone. It hadn't even been 3 seconds, and it was just gone. So I feel you.
Ghosts.
Yeah. A little backstory. About 3 weeks before this, I had suffered a stroke. Oh my goodness. That landed me in the hospital for a week. As you can imagine, my memory was not working too well, and I couldn't remember where I put it when cleaning or where any extras were at. I was meeting friends at the fair that were already there waiting for me. So me and my husband decided to run to Walmart and get a wig cap from the Halloween area. I got to walk through Walmart in full cosplay, got a lot of funny looks. We got the cap, I put my wig cap on in the car, and was only 30 minutes late. I had a lot of fun, and people loved my Natsu cosplay. Thanks for reading my story, Kenzie. That is awesome. And they included a picture. Their Natsu looks so good. I love this. Like,
I love the Natsu cosplay.
That tattoo looks so good. I kind of hope it's real because it looks so good on you, dude.
With a little happy on it. Aww.
Yeah.
Nice. Cute. Do you want to get the next one, Vfire?
Sure, I got this. This one is from Tynave? And this is like right as the weather's starting to warm up. So they say, oh boy, it's finally warming up outside. Let's open all the windows. And then go on the patio to paint something. Delicious paint fumes. Guys, be careful about them paint fumes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're practicing self-care. They went outside to do it instead of in their basement when it's not, has any air circulation whatsoever and just been gluing in there for a couple hours. Yeah.
True. This is true. Still gotta watch out outside because, I get too close sometimes when I spray, and I just feel like the Mad Max, like, witness me.
Witness me! To Valhalla, I'll go.
Do not spray paint in your face, guys. Please don't.
No.
Did you know that they weren't actually like it's a cake spray?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just cake spray. I'm like, oh man, that's the raddest cake spray.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
All right, what do we got next?
We got another one from Tim as he's working on this piece. He says, just devastated right now on the side of Xandra's helmet. This was one of the first pieces I worked on over 12 years ago, and it's broken off.
Wow.
Oh.
Heartbreak. Like, it looks like it just shattered to pieces.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been working on this for 12 years, like, I can't even imagine the, like, heartbreak of the seeing, like, oh, that's just, 5 years, 10 years, 12, all, like, that's been there all 12. Heartbreak. Next one gets a little personal, so I'm gonna go through just a very light passing because I know that we don't want to bring out down the vibes too much, but the stories are still valid. Someone just got got chatted to a little too personally, and it got a little uncomfortable. And that always sucks. It's never fun to like hear about your friends, the people that you care about and you love, being treated less than stellar.
I especially hate it when it makes someone not want to wear a costume that they love and were excited about anymore. Because like I've had that happen to me in like some of my favorite costumes, and I was just like, I don't want to wear this. I don't even want to look at it right now because of that.
Yeah, no, I totally get that mentality. And it's the worst because like you put so much effort and time into this and you deserve to feel great in it and not objectified and just kind of icky, or my girl Karlak would say stinky.
Stinky. That is my word. Karlak stole it from me.
It's so funny because Quinn says that all the time.
Oh my
Stinky.
gosh. Stinky. I use it. The thing is, I use it as both a term of endearment and also when I'm annoyed with someone. So it could be stinky or stinky.
So we totally see like that kind of reaction of just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore if that's going to be the case. But know that we are here for you and we would love to see any chance that you have to wear it again, if that's your confidence, your prerogative, or just want to get it back on and just try it out again. We will happily give you the hype that you deserve.
Hype it up.
Hype.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, David.
X-Angel writes, not sure if this counts as a cosplay or a culinary horror story. We'll take it. I got back from a con where I forgot to eat lunch and dinner. Not self-care. Take a drink.
Uh-oh.
I had snacks and plenty of water, so I was alternating between getting food and taking parts of my costume off, and I dropped the cooking spray and the depressor broke. So I tried fixing it.
Boo.
Get out. I'm just going to bumper from the online meeting that we have here.
Oh, no.
And I dropped the cooking spray and the depressor broke, so I tried fixing it and sprayed myself in the eye.
Oh, no.
So I had to pause making dinner and go wipe off the makeup I was so proud of and wanted to show off with. I got no pictures of it. Once that was done, I went to crack an egg and a tiny bit cracked and the whole egg, shell and all, fell onto the pan. But the egg didn't look broken at all, just flat where it connected with the pan.
No.
What a freaking day. Oh my gosh.
Oh. All right, I've got a story from Sumner Dormat. I have a bit of a horror story that just happened, just in all caps. This is just as in like back in April.
But just.
Yeah. I've been working on a game panel for a convention. It will remain nameless. It was going to involve a lot of work for myself, specifically, but also for my fellow players. I have been struggling through a lot of physical pain and dreading future lab results while hand-sewing plushies for prizes. I get an email 2 weeks before the con to confirm my time slot. They had given me 45 minutes. I requested something a little longer. The person I was in contact with told me to wait a couple days so they could see what they could do. 3 days before the con, I have received nothing. I even sent them a follow-up email just to kindly remind them to let me know if something came out. Come to find out, I'm not even on the schedule. It would have been courteous if they told me they couldn't find a time slot for my panel instead of leaving me in the dark.
Dang it.
That's the worst. Well, Summoner Doormat, I love little game show stuff. I would be more than happy to participate if you ever wanted to host this again. Or
I'll
just,
give it a shot.
Yeah.
yeah, let us know. I freaking love game show stuff. Game panels, my jam. My jam. Trivia, I'm not great, but I could do it.
I'm terrible at
I just
trivia.
love watching them. I think they're so fun.
They're so good. They're so good.
I'm a know-nothing Jon Snow.
All right, our next one comes from Meadow. Says, cosplay crafting horror story, the first of many as a baby cosplayer. So I'm making a cosplay of Moxie from Honey Pop, who, for those unfamiliar, has angel feathers coming out of the left side of her head and a big planet on the other. I have absolutely zero experience with crafting, so I'm just kind of winging it. No pun intended. I've been invested probably about 5 hours into this headband I'm making. On one side, I took a base of wire and medical tape and began hot gluing feathers onto it, which has made my apartment into a sea of feathers. And I hand painted a floral foam ball to make it look like Mercury. Even added glow-in-the-dark sealant and glow-in-the-dark glitter so that it'll glow under black light at the raves, which is where I'm planning to wear this cosplay. So mind you, I definitely should have chosen a thicker headband, but I was putting on the finishing touches on the feather portion when my elbow bumped the prop's head and the headband fell off and totally snapped in two.
No.
I'm not fully sure how to fix it because the feather portion is attached very thickly to the headband, but I'll remember to choose sturdier headbands next time, LOL.
Oh, what a heartbreak.
Oh, that's so sad.
What? Oh my gosh.
I weep.
Moxie from Honey Pop 2 is like so good for rave like environment, like with all of the colors and whatnot. Top notch. Good choice. Good choices.
Nice. Whose turn now? David? Mercedes?
I believe it is mine. We
Go
have
yeah.
Kate Shaw. They write a pretty big one. I just remember a cosplay horror story from about 10 years ago. I was making a steampunk outfit for an original character who was an owl catcher. The general theme, naturally, was feathers, and I wanted to trim the bottom of my skirt's petticoat and feathers so they showed from under the skirt. I bought a long string of fluffy white chicken feathers attached to a tape to sew in, but immediately learned that the glue inside the tape was so sticky that my sewing machine couldn't handle it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I had to hand sew the whole thing, and it wasn't easy.
Oh, I've done that.
Well, yeah, because you never turned your sewing machine off. It's still on to this day. You moved and it's still on.
I know, right? I just had a generator and just plugged it into that. And
oh no.
It's like that scene in Seinfeld when they're trying to move the Frogger machine.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I had to use a thimble to push the needle through the thick glue without hurting myself, and every few stitches I had to clean the glue off the needle. For several weeks, I spent hours every evening sewing that thing while I watched the entire box set of Gundam Wing. Great choice. Plus the Endless Waltz movie. Oh my gosh.
I love Endless Waltz.
The result was amazing and just what I wanted, but I think it would take about 18 hours total to sew just that one feather lining. I wore it to DragonCon 2012 or 2013, then hung the petticoat carefully on the back of my closet and didn't wear it again. A few years ago, I was cleaning out the closet and pulled the petticoat out to look at. The cheap feathers had started to disintegrate.
Oh, no!
Bits of feather billowed out of the closet as soon as I touched the petticoat. I ended up having to throw the whole thing away. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Rip that.
Oh, 18 hours of work.
Yeah, that's nuts. Oh my goodness.
Our next one is from Cynthia Eve Cause. This is a horror story with a happy ending.
Yay!
Yahoo!
We like those.
Yeah. Last weekend, 2 friends and I decided to go to a small convention about an hour and a half from our town. Tickets were cheap, and they had a cosplay contest, so we thought it would be a good time. The website said that registration ended for the contest at 11 a.m. on Saturday, meaning we would need to leave around 8:30 a.m. to have plenty of time to get there and change into our cosplays. One of my friends and I stayed up the night before until 2 a.m. Oops. I've been there.
Who does that?
and ordered a con crunch, which was our first mistake because we needed to get up at 6 a.m. in order to do body paint. Oh boy.
Woof.
We got up the next day and were very tired, but were excited about the con. I decided to drink some coffee that morning. Yay, coffee! To wake myself up, which was my second mistake, because coffee makes me very anxious, especially if I'm already stressed.
Uh-oh.
That is such a downside to coffee.
I know.
The anxiousness.
That sounds like beginner's talk to me. I only get anxious on my 6th cup.
Oh!
Uh-huh.
My friend and I took longer than expected to get ready, and we ended up leaving at 9:30 instead of the original planned 8:30. I felt bad because I was freaking out about if we were going to make it in time to sign up for the contest. I ended up emailing the convention on the way there, and they said we could enroll late, so I was more at ease the rest of the trip.
Nice.
When we finally got to the convention, everything went great, and we were able to sign up and come back for prejudging later. When the time came for prejudging, I was very nervous because of the lack of sleep and coffee and pretty much fumbled through my entire prejudging. I was very thankful the judges were happy to walk me through my costume and ask me questions about it. Ooh, good judges, I like them.
Yay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
At the end of the day, we were all very tired, but it was all worth it because I was shockingly bumped up from novice to masters. There was no intermediate, and I won masters. That's so cool. It was my first time winning Masters category, and it was a great way to end such a whirlwind of a day. It was the first convention my normal convention group has been able to go to since COVID started, so it was a fun day overall.
That's so cool.
Yay.
Congratulations on the win. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And the costumes
of the costumes
picture.
too.
Yeah, so good.
That was always nice.
The body makeup is top notch, like so clean. Like that's so good. Good job, guys. So proud of you.
They're dressed up from Lore Olympus.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. I love it.
We have one from, let's see, Jojo J. Awesome name.
JoJo Style.
JoJo Style. This isn't really a horror story, but I think this might be the best place for it anyway. So I went to distress some edges of my fabric, and I usually use a rough stone for that, but I don't have stones laying around with my sewing supplies. I mean, that makes sense. So I went outside to get one. In front of the house my flat is in, there was recently work done on a pipe, so there's like a big hole in the ground and a pile of earth and debris next to our letterboxes. I was digging through that, searching for a good stone, when one of my neighbors came home, checked their mail, and looked at me as if I had lost something, potentially my marbles. Nice. We had a moment of intense, confused eye contact. I proceeded to forget any kind of context might be needed and said, "I am looking for a stone," while I was surrounded by different pebbles.
I'm looking for rocks.
That is the feeling I get when the Joanne's lady at the fabric store asks me what project I'm working on. I just kind of
How do I explain Hollow Knight to you? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just doing a costume for a video game. What game?
I don't think
I'm looking for a rock.
Yeah. I don't think that convinced my neighbor, and they were like, "What? Why?" And I went, "I am sewing something and need the right rough stone for that," which obviously didn't clear up anything. My neighbor, still confused and by now probably sure that I am in fact weird, went, "All right, I hope you have luck finding a good one," and left to get to their flat, looking at me a little skeptically. I just now realized how much context was lacking and how they probably were so confused by my little gremlin self, proudly telling them they needed a rough stone for sewing.
I need a rock. Can you find me a rock? I would like a rock. It's sewing rocks time. Have you never sewn
racks?
Have you never sewn rocks together?
Don't you know rocks are important? The most important part of sewing?
You know, a few years ago, you probably could have convinced me that rocks were a very important part of sewing, and I would have believed you.
Oh, right.
I love the response to it with Tim. He posted a meme, and it's this guy going, so I'm slightly advanced, so instead of going 80 grit, I'm going to go with 1 grit, and he picks up a
cinder block.
cinder block. The thing is, like, I've used the cement outside to sand things before.
Oh, good.
Alright, so Tim Yoke says, is this a horror story? Literally? I collect creepy animatronics.
Nope, I'm done. I'm out. Have fun, you guys.
Not into the like Five Nights at Freddy's vibe of creepy animatronics.
Listen, I'm only here for the Matt Pat reviews and talking about it, and that's it for me. I'm done.
I love this. Okay, so he collects creepy animatronics, mostly from Goodwill and stuff, but I got what I think is the Baby Alive monkey. I mean, it's kind of
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I remember Baby Alive, but I did not know they made Baby Alive animals.
I hate everything about this.
It's so creepy.
Anyways, it's
Sorry, I just pulled it up and I'm looking. It looks like it's just.
It looks kind of cute. Like, it's adorable.
I can see how some people would think it was cute.
If you push its tummy, it makes cute little sounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's cleaning out a shop, and at the other end of the shop, he suddenly hears, "How are you today?" coming out of this thing at full volume. He says, "I smacked my head on the bottom of a shelf because I thought someone had gotten into my shop. 100%, it's sure haunted now."
Yikes! No,
nope. That would make me jump too. Actually,
I'd rather deal with spiders. It's just.
How are you today, David?
Nope. Wait, that was a podcast.
Oh no. Right. You want to get the next one, David?
I will happily get the next one. Sam the Foam Guy writes, okay, it's time for an explanation. I've been in a really rough spot these past few weeks. Dude, I feel it. Mostly just my mental health has been in the dumps, and it's all been stemming from one thing, and his name is Soundwave. My original plan was that I would wear him at this year's Comic-Con in Salt Lake City. I was going to install a Bluetooth speaker into his backpack so I can blast killer 80s music at the convention and just have a great time with my buds.
That sounds so fun.
Right?
I freaking love Soundwave.
Like, just being outside and then just, like, having a little dance party around you because you are the sound system?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
10 out of 10. After I finished building the suit, I performed a basic walking/movement test, and it looked okay, but I wasn't happy with it. Thus is the pain of an artist. He looked clunky and he moved super awkwardly, but I continued to work on him. Good. Hoping that he would eventually be great. I was wrong. I woke up one day and I looked at him and I realized I had made a horrible mistake. He looked awful and I couldn't even look at it without feeling some form of disappointment. The cardboard I made the chest bases out of was warped and peeling. The helmet was covered in seams. The shoulders were clunky and wanted to fold in on the chest instead of going out. I tried to fix him, but it was a pointless endeavor.
No.
Nothing worked, and I could all I could feel was shame. I made so many promises on social media and even the podcast for all to see, and I told them that I would do something that I could no longer do. I felt like I would never cosplay again, and I was dead set on doing that, so I did. I didn't make anything for 2.5 weeks. But through some help from some family and friends, I was able to figure out what to do. I threw away Soundwave. He's rotting in some landfill by now. It was hard to dump him. I'm just imagining the breakup conversation with Soundwave now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, poor Soundwave. Got broken up with. So it's okay, Sam. You're too good for him. He's rotting in some landfill right now. It was hard to dump him. I put so many hours, work hours and dollars into him, but I knew what I had to do, but I still needed cosplay to wear. That's where my buddy Faye walks in. Faye and their significant other, Crow, had gotten me into Rise of the TMNT. Great one. It has some amazing animation and great comedy, and I got hooked instantly. But when I watched the movie, everything changed. The main villain is named The Krang. He is an interdimensional being who is shaped like a little brain with angry eyebrows and a big evil grin. He has telekinetic powers, but he also has a massive alien robot suit for creating anarchy. His design was phenomenal, and I was super intrigued, so I made him. I thoroughly planned out everything about this cosplay and got started. It took a bit of work, but he turned out way better than I ever could have imagined. To all of the people who are going through that situation similar to mine, it always gets better. Never lose faith in your abilities, because if you give yourself time, you can make something beautiful. And he included some great photos.
Good.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. He's just over 7 feet tall.
That is
Whoa.
awesome. That is so stinking cool.
So cool.
Oh.
We were talking about this off pod, but my partner Quinn was talking about how they like when you're doing something, if it's the first time ever doing it, it's supposed to be a little rough around the edges. You're gonna do something like as hard as you can, but you don't know what you don't know. And like now that you have like all of this extra skills and you now know like, oh, I don't want to do that. Now you know what to do differently. And I'm so excited, Sam, that you like gave it another go. Like that's so exciting. Like I can't wait for you to like decide I'm going to try Soundwave again, because you're going to be like, I know what I didn't like and I know what I can do better.
Yeah. And I'm really glad it didn't like keep you from continuing to cosplay, and that you had a good circle of friends there to help you get excited about something new and to like really get passionate about a new project. So
heck yeah.
That turned out so cool.
It looks so cool. Like I'm just like staring at it in awe. I love it.
Let's see.
Pannon, it's your turn.
Next we have Ashley. It says, I just remembered something that happened when I was in college. I was going to a university in Washington that I had... I'm sorry, David. I was going to a university in Washington that had just started a cosplay club. Someone had the bright idea to go as a group to Chibi Chibi Con, which is a free one-day con, on the opposite side of the state in February. The most important thing to note is that you don't really travel east or west during the winter. The passes are usually snowy and are subject to closures. I know exactly how that goes in the Pacific Northwest. They're scary. Yeah. My sister was teaching at the college that Chibi Chibi Con was held... My sister was teaching at the college that Chibi Chibi Con was being held at, and I hadn't seen her in nearly 10 years. We have different moms, and our dad had passed away. I took the opportunity to contact her and visit with her. She agreed to meet up, and when we got there, we found the cell phone service sucked. So when my sister asked to have dinner in a concrete building, I made sure to tell someone where I was. My sister and I reconnected and still talk a lot, which is awesome. But our dinner was cut short when the group came in telling us the pass was closing and we needed to go. They said they had been looking for me forever. I apologized and stated that I had told someone who I was not going to throw under the bus. But needless to say, the pass closed before we even got close. Luckily, someone was able to contact some friends, and we were given sleeping bags and a chance to stay the night at a church. One of the girls sadly had a panic attack and ended up going to the hospital, and I was blamed for it. After that, I kind of quit the club. I still hold a distaste for the club members involved. I've even avoided going to cons or contests that someone from that club is going to. My first attempt to do a cosplay contest, I dropped the idea when I saw who one of the judges was. Hint, Pannon and Vfire were judges, I think. And it's also the con I met you guys. I have better friends now.
That's lovely to hear.
Yeah, I'm glad you have better friends now. And like, that still sounds like such a scary scenario. And, like, it sounds like you tried really hard to make sure people knew where you were and doing something like to reconnect with family. And, that was just like a series of unfortunate events. But
Ashley's profile picture is a Sherpa from Golden Kamuy, and I just started that anime. Top notch. Oh my gosh, I'm 3 episodes in and I'm sold. It's so good. Funny.
I've heard such amazing things.
Evocative, great voice acting. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Nice.
Love a Sherpa.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you got better friends and that you're in a better place now. And and that you got to reconnect with family. I think that's awesome.
That's so cool.
Vfire.
Next one, we've got Rain Mice, which is a really cool name, by the way. I just really like that. It's Rain Mice. It makes you kind of think of the Tide Mice from Hilda.
Aww.
All right, so Rain Mice says, I was doing my skincare today and just noticed a remnant of my funniest cosplay horror story. For several conventions back to back, I was con crunching cosplays, running around with bundles of hair to glue into my wigs in the con hotel room, frantically styling wigs and sewing through the night. I do not recommend. And by the time I came to get into cosplay, I was both too tired and too anxious to cut the bangs on my wig, which is something I always struggle with, as I fear cutting them too short and having no way to fix it. In lieu of actually cutting my bangs out of my eyes, I came up with a genius idea to fold up a paper napkin and place that under my wig to bump up my bangs and out of my eyes. I did that for several cons before realizing the weight of the wig and headpieces I had combined with the friction from wearing the cosplay all day each day of these cons. I wore in a tiny bald spot.
Oh
Wow.
/ callus into my actual hair and bangs.
No.
Woof.
It's semi-noticeable at IRL, but I have since learned to pre-plan my wigs better and to avoid issues like this again in the future. Also, a lot of rosemary oil in my new hair care routine.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
I got a picture showing the little spot, and I'm like, oh.
That's
Dang.
yeah. Oh man. To the degree that you're moving around to have that wig just rub away the hair. I'm so sorry, dude.
Oh, man.
The thing is, like, as I'm reading that, I'm like, oh yeah, do the napkin thing? I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Rain Mice, no! Learn from my mistakes. Learn from
That's why these horror stories are great, because you learn what not to do. Oh, David.
Let's see here. Professor Winter writes, a quick horror story. I just learned why you should always bring super glue to a con, and I'm glad I did. And they have a picture, and it looks like an ice scepter, ice staff. I'm not quite sure. Please let me know what it's from. And it is clearly broken on a layer line from a 3D print, and that is heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. Thankfully it seems like it'll be mostly okay because it was a clean break. And they show an after picture and you can't even really see where the break happened. So I'm so glad that you were able to save it. But man, that would break my heart because I know how long 3D prints take. They take forever, and then you work so hard to clean them up and then make sure that they're sturdy, and then one slight bump and then it's shattered.
And especially with how good the paint job is on that, it's so precise.
It's so clean, like consistent. Very good job, and I'm so sorry that it was like had that happen to you at all.
Dang. That's kind of a short one. Do you want to read another one, David?
I will happily do so. We've got from Morning. Hi, Morning. My current horror story. I ordered fabric from an online shop that I like because it's a bit cheaper than something like Joann's. Nothing against Joann's, just Joann's can be a little pricey at times. Haven't had an issue until now. I ordered swatches earlier and found a good color that I wanted to use. So I logged on and found the spring medium linen. It looked a little more yellow, but I figured the lighting didn't help. I knew that different sets might vary slightly in color, so I wasn't too worried. Well, I should have been. The color is wildly different. Like, they should not have called this the same color at all.
Oh no.
Now I have to figure out how to salvage this so much for an easy, chill side project. Now, this one, I'm having a hard time seeing a color difference. I'm assuming it's pretty dramatic.
It's like,
it's dramatic.
like a spring green that they wanted, and then what they actually got was like an acid green, like almost yellow.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so like something I'd drop Joker into kind of thing.
Yeah, very much.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. I am so sorry. That's so frustrating because, like, do I save it and make it into another cosplay? Do I try and dye it, then like see if it will take? Like, what a nightmare.
Oh, dang.
What do you even do with that color?
If it's if it's really, really bright, you could try and do an Edge Runners from with David from Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
See, I was gonna say
yeah.
Frigga from the first couple like Marvel Thor movies. I know she has a like acid green dress.
That's good.
That
That's
would be
really, really
for.
good. We're almost out of time. Pannon, do you want to do one more and wrap us up?
Yeah, sure. This one comes from Ronan Eric.
Hey, Ronan.
He says, now for my own little horror story from Non-DeskCon a few weekends ago. Little backstory, I've been on staff with NDK since 2011, and I've worked with the cosplay competition department since 2013. Up until last year, I was the department lieutenant, second to the area head, when I was asked to take over a new department. I am now the car show coordinator for the NDK Itasha Car Show.
What? That's cool.
I know, yeah. I've been seeing that a lot more at conventions where they do like fun car shows. It says the majority of my duties for the car show are making sure the cars get in place and our outdoor vendors are all set up in the mornings. So for the most part, I can actually enjoy con otherwise. This allows me to still help out during green room and run the ramp during the cosplay competition, which is one of my absolute favorite things at con. I always try to cosplay a comforting character during the competition to help the contestants feel comfortable before going on stage. This year I was Uncle Iroh.
Yay! What?
But I hadn't taken into account how much time I was actually going to be outside Friday. While I had applied sunscreen that morning, I never reapplied it, and I was out in the 90-degree plus heat for about 7 or 8 hours.
Oh, no.
I was a little toasty. Scratch that, I was a lot toasty. I did not realize how toasty I was. Saturday morning, I was getting ready, putting on the gi, armor, and the beautiful hand-laced beard that I had spent at least 50 hours on. Oh my gosh. Everything went well until it was time to apply the wig. The wig has a balding section integrated into it, and I was going to just use a little foundation to get it to match my face. I put the wig on, and for the first time, I really noticed how red my skin was in comparison to the bald section. Then the pain hit. It was like one of those chip challenges, but instead of in my mouth, it was on my head. My forehead and scalp were on fire. It felt like someone was shoving flaming needles into my skin. Ow! Wig came off instantly, and I contemplated taking off Iroh entirely, but I had just spent a lot of time gluing the beard to my face, so I was just a younger version of Iroh, and people figured out who I was. It was still a wonderful day, and the cosplayers loved seeing their favorite uncle at the end of the ramp before going on stage.
Aww.
Sunburns and cosplay, man. I could tell you so many stories of that going awry. It's just, that's rough.
Something like NDK's in Colorado, and like something that I don't think a lot of people appreciate is that higher elevations means you are just closer to the sun. It might feel colder, but because you know, thinner air or whatever, but you are that much closer to the sun and the atmosphere, and like there's just something about it that just burns extra hot.
Oh man, that is so true. Well, thanks for sharing all those fun, scary stories. We still got some to catch up on.
Yeah, we've got so many to go through. You guys have been fantastic in sharing those. If you didn't hear your cosplay horror story shared, remember we try to make sure that it's still overly positive. We do talk about, you know, sometimes there isn't always a positive ending, but as long as we can learn and grow from it, and, you know, you've all got some really great progress. So we want to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of a spotlight and not any one person is kind of hogging that light. So everybody gets to like shine equally.
Yeah. Yeah. And also shout out to the folks that are also in our Discord thread that are, you know, giving hype to the people who have experienced some of these horror stories and making sure that they still feel like their work is like appreciated and that they did good.
Like our community is so good. I posted just the other day. I went to Eddie Izzard live.
Fun!
And I was like, I'm gonna do my makeup. If I'm gonna go see Eddie Izzard, she deserves to see me in all my glory.
Yes.
And so I posted in the work in progress channel that we've got, and I was like, it's still very much a work in progress. A little bit of lipstick, a little bit of shadow, eyeliner, and a whisper of glitter. Again, I cannot emphasize how much of a whisper it is. And everybody came out and just like, you look great. It's so fantastic.
Aww.
one of my favorites was you look like an elf. And I was like, well, that's very kind of you, but that's untrue. Half elf at most. I'll take half elf.
Aw. Aw, you look good.
Yeah?
That looks really good. Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you. It's weird doing makeup without the beard because like I'm so used to working around the beard for so long to have like such a clean face to work from. But yeah, I'm very proud of that.
It really shows off your eyes too.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm getting compliments from Pannon.
Well, if y'all at home want to share your stories and you don't mind a little bit of a wait because we are still working through them, there's a bunch of ways you can send them to us. You can do that to our email, which is cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or
you can go to our website, cosplaystitchandscene.com, and fill out the contact forms there, or
go to the Facebook page. Tell us what you're working on while you're there. Join our fantastic community of fine folks that want to share in your successes, your wins, your loses, and hype you back up to the place that you deserve right there at the tippy top. We love seeing what you guys make, and so does our community. If you're not a big fan of Facebook, join our Discord. Our Discord server is where we got most of these cosplay horror stories. We would love to hear from you guys. And if you're on the internet, you want to help out the show, don't forget to share the podcast with a friend. Leave us a review wherever they let you, and join our Patreon, patreon.com/cosplay stitch. And some of the amazing people that we need to thank are Misty Lee. Welcome, Misty Lee. This is your first time on the shout out, so thank you. Jack S, Cynthia Eve Cosplay, Starfetcher, Trough Cos, Lydia Yggdrasil. I'm gonna start this from Jack S because I got to do it in one breath. Jackass, Cynthia Eve Cosplay, Starfetcher, Trough Cos, Lydia Yggdrasil, Dr. Steggy, Cynics, Hot Riku, Renamira, Jazzy Kofed, Jaguar Queen, Gloria Shu, Sudi, and Silver Deeds.
Nice. Thanks as always to Macee Roberts for the use of her theme song, or for the use of her music as our theme song, and to
Jeffress.
David, I did that last week. And David Jeffress for Faye's amazing editing. How are your podcasts going, David?
They are going so stinking great. Last Voice, we are in high production era. I am crunching through it. I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible so you guys can get to season 3. It's been a long road. It's been a hard road. I definitely bit off more than I can chew, but I've learned so much in the process. And Comic Trades Monthly, if you enjoy comic books and talking about them in a book club format, we are talking about Hellboy next month. So please come over and join us for that.
Ooh, excellent. Well, I know not everyone's into Halloween. I know some of you couldn't scare less. But I'll be creeping it real because I think Halloween is irresistible.
Oh my gosh.
Happy Halloween. Coming too late, but happy Halloween. Bye, guys. Bye.
You are
you
up
can take
next,
that
Pannon.
out, David. Because I feel like a little poop.
That goes in the bloopers.